back for another session on this little Australian Shepherd here. This will be part 3. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Today is Tuesday, January the 17th, and we're going to work on this little guy's ears and his eyes today. So we're going to use a little more of this variegated gray. And with Australian Shepherds, they have kind of floppy ears. So we're going to make this little guy's ears flop down. So we're just going to try to make a little bit of a triangle shape here. Finally got a lot of Wade's possessions home from my mother's house. Got a lot accomplished yesterday. And I spent some of the day today when I was on my break from my job, lunch and breaks, and tried to get a little bit of that put up in his room. We did go to the Pizza Ranch. I told you I would give you a review, and I have to say I'm sorry for all the people that like Pizza Ranch, but it was not my favorite pizza place. The pizza was just okay. It wasn't bad, just for the money that it cost. It was kind of expensive for the type of pizza we got. It was very similar to Cece's Pizza, which is a whole lot cheaper. But I did like, they had potato wedges and potato chips, like homemade potato chips. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. I didn't eat any of the chicken, but my husband said the chicken was pretty good. And we had some of the garlic cheese bread. Now that was really good. I really enjoyed it. But overall, out of a 10, I'd probably give it a 6.5 or 7. It was just okay. I think it was just overpriced for what you got, so I probably will not go again. But that's just my honest review. I am a foodie. If you can't tell, I'm a pretty large. By just looking at my hands, you can tell I'm a large person, so I am a foodie. I do like my food, and it's just not the kind of pizza I would like. I'm spoilt to my pizza. We've got a mellow mushroom here, and if you've never been to Mellow Mushroom, that is the best pizza there is. So if it's not a Mellow Mushroom, it's just not, it's just okay. So if I'm going to spend that kind of money on pizza, I'm going to go to Mellow Mushroom. What kind of pizza do you all like? Comment. Let me know your suggestions if you're in this region, or if it's a chain and you have a good suggestion on a good pizza place. I saw a video from someone, I can't remember who it was, recently, that had a Shakey's pizza. And we used to have Shaky pizza here when I was a little girl. We used to have one in East Nashville that my family and I used to go to all the time. And I just wonder if it's the same as what I'm used to. But I have, I like Fox's Pizza. I like their cheese pizza sticks are really, really good. I really like those. And I like Pizza Hut pretty good. They've changed over the years, and it's gotten better. But it's just hard for me to eat anything pizza-wise if it's not Mellow Mushroom. And if you know, you know. But here we're just making a little triangle. Trying to shape it up a little bit. And sometimes after it looks like it might be a little bit too big, and I'll whittle it down if I try it out and see if it's too big. But then I'll just kind of fold it here. I don't know if you can. I'll fold it over just a little bit to get that flop. And I'll needle that section there to keep it down so it'll retain that flopped over look. And I do think that's going to be too big, but we'll see. I'll needle down this part so it'll attach to the head. And I might have to add a little more there because I want to make sure there's enough to attach. I might just make this a little bit smaller. And I'll kind of place it on the head just to see what the size, get a reference to the size. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a little too big, so we'll dwindle this down a little bit. And to make it smaller, I'm just going to keep needling it on each side, bringing it in a little bit. It's hard to gauge the size until you get it kind of in a shape. And probably what I'll do is this one ear on camera, and then I'll probably do the other ear off camera and then come back and show you the finished product. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks pretty good right there. So then we're just going to attach this ear. I'm going to take these loose fibers here, and we're just going to attach them to this head. Just keep pushing in. And I'll go on the inside of the ear and also push in to get all those fibers connected. I want to make sure it has a good attachment. I don't want any ears coming off. And this is what I kind of was explaining in my first video about loose heads and the air coming back in. When you're just needle felting it on, the only thing that's attaching it is these little fibers. And for a head that's much heavier and much larger, I don't think you can get a good enough attachment to keep that air from getting back into the fibers and loosening it up. I'm sure it does on these ears and things as well, but not as much as the head. I just had so many that over the course of a few months, a year, the heads would just get so floppy. I had one guy that I gave one to for his birthday at my work, and the head got so loose and floppy, and he just pulled the head off of it, and kind of made me mad because I spent a lot of time working on it and giving it to him as a gift, and I would have rather him let me have it back and fix it, but he ripped the head off, and he was a young kid. I guess he thought it was funny, but when he was no longer working with us, I think he got let go, and all his belongings were packed up, and the head was still on his desk. And one of my other coworkers took the head and thought it was kind of cute to have just a headless figure, so she took it, and I don't know if she still has it, but there's one ear right there, if you can see that. It's flopped over a little bit. And what I'll do is the other one off camera, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then we'll work on the eyes. Alright, be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I apologize for that, and I'm just batting 1,000 this week. I had another mishap, so I had to start over. So this guy's going to look a little bit different than the other one. But here is this little guy, and he's got his little ears. So now we're going to put in his eyes, and I'm going to do some shading with the chalk I had talked about in the previous video that my friend Laura, hey Laura if you're watching, gifted to me, and I'm going to show you how I use that for the shading around the eyes. So, and I was telling you about the dog brush, and here's the dog brush, and I've got a little piece of polyester felt here. It's a kind of a sea foam color. I thought that would be pretty for the eyes. So what I'm going to do is just brush a little bit of this color, just enough to loosen the fibers up a little bit, because you don't need very much of this at all. And make sure that you clean your brush out when you get done, or that fiber will stay in there, and when you brush another color it'll mix in, and then you'll have a mixed color, and it won't be what you wanted it to be. So we're just going to pick some of these fibers out. And we really don't need very much to fill in the eyes here. And I just kind of ball it up a little bit and just place it where you think the placement of the eye should be. Grab my needle here. And then you just needle it in. Just keep going around in a circle. And I do needle felt on my eyes. I don't use any glass beads or glass eyes or plastic eyes. I just, even though like I said previously, even though my animals are not made for children, they are certainly more friendly, child friendly. I just would hate to think that any of my animals got in the hands of a child and a plastic or glass bead eye is a choking hazard. It would devastate me. So I've always needle felted my eyes. I know the glass eyes and beads look more realistic, but like I said before, none of my animals look realistic. They're very cartoon, so I might as well use cartoon eyes. So all of my eyes are needle felted. And then we'll do the other side. And I just do it the same basic way. I have to move the ear out of the way. Yeah, we're almost there. And I know my little creations aren't perfect, but slight imperfections make them unique and make them one of a kind. These truly are one of a kind. No matter how much I would like to make them look exactly alike, I never can make them look exactly the same. So they are one of a kind creations, and the little imperfections just make them even more unique and one of a kind. So there are the eyes there. And now I'm going to use that artist chalk that I was talking about. You'll have to forgive me for the glare. But here's the Stampin' Up! Pastel chalks. That's what it looks like. Sorry for the glare. As you can see, I've used it quite often. It is my go-to for any type of shading, or even sometimes the coats I'll even make with this artist chalk. But we're going to use this color right here, which is a kind of that orangey brown color. And I just use just a regular Dollar Tree Wet n Wild makeup brush. And then what I'm going to do is just go around the eyes here. In that, a lot of Australian Shepherds have this coloring around their eyes. So I'll just use this to color around the face here. I'll probably use it on one of the ears and not both of them. And then some on their legs. Just a little bit more here around this eye. You don't have to be perfect here. Just try not to get it in the blue of the eye, but it's kind of hard not to because it is a powder. It's a chalk. But as you can see, that color goes on really well. And it stays on. It doesn't really rub off. I really love using this chalk. So Laura, again, if you're watching, thank you so much, my friend. This was probably one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. I truly appreciate it. I've made many an animal with this chalk. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the ear here. And then I'll clean off my brush, and sometimes I'll use the same brush because it cleans off pretty well. You can just wipe it off with a paper towel or napkin or something. And then I'm going to pick up some of this pink here and just a little dab. I always like to just put a little pink on their cheeks here. It will mix in with some of that brown, but that's okay. And sometimes I'll do the inside of the ear. I like to kind of color the inside of the ear pink. I don't always do that, but I thought I'd show you how I do that on this one. Okay, so there we have this little guy so far. And we'll put this chalk away. And what I use here now is I just use a Sharpie pen. Sharpies are permanent. It works really well on wool or this polyester fiber. So I'll just outline the eyes, inside the eyes. I'll make a little eyebrow. And then we'll make the pupil here. I have tried needle felting this area, and I'm not really good with the fine needle felting of mouths and eyes. So this just works better for me. And there's the pupils. And then when they, with their, well, let me get this other eyebrow. And then the mouth, I just do the same thing with the Sharpie to make the mouth. I just color it in. And his little personality just comes right out. It's amazing just how a few little touches totally change the way it looks. And sometimes on the mouth, because we have so much fluff and fuzz here, I'll take my needle and just kind of push those fibers in. Underneath the mouth. Just push those fibers in to kind of lock them in place there. And you can always, if you don't like the way it looks, you can always take a pair of snips and cut that out and just redo it. But there's our little guy. And sometimes what I do here to make highlights in the pupil, I'll just use a white gel pen and just touch it up. Just put a little bit on there just to give it the highlight. Sometimes you have to dab it a couple of times for it to stay, but generally works pretty well. And I think that's where we'll stop today. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be able to show you the limbs and how I joint the arms and legs so they can move. And we'll finish this little guy up, and he'll be in my eBay store. I will link my eBay store in the description box below. And with that, I appreciate everyone watching my video. Again, I'm new, so please just stick with me and give me a chance, and I promise I'll improve. But with that, I really, really appreciate everybody viewing and hitting that like and subscribe button. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.